Hey everybody, Josh the Retro Gamer here. So I'm coming to you guys talking about this controller that I just got in the mail. So I found this on eBay. I like looking for controller boxes and controllers on eBay. If I find a good price on them, a lot of times I'll snatch them up. I've gotten some NES controller boxes that way. I've done a couple of videos on some of those. I've gotten a Super Nintendo one that way. I have a few 64 ones I've gotten like that. This one was the first time though that I saw one that said it was a sealed Super Nintendo controller. So it took forever for me to get this. I finally got it. The guy was really unresponsive, and I felt like it was probably because I got it for a pretty good deal, because it took him forever to ship it. And I was about to open up a case with eBay because it had been over a month and he hadn't shipped it yet. But here we go. So I'm going to take this video, I'm going to open this up on camera here, and we're going to take a look at it and see if this is real or not. So first off, it's got a lot of damage on it. If you look around, I mean, you can see it's really beat up, kind of all over. And I was trying to look at it. I don't have one like this, so I don't have anything to compare it against. I messaged a friend of mine who has this box, and I'm pretty sure his is legit, and he sent me a few pictures of his. And so based on some comparisons that I could tell with that, there were a few things I noticed. One was his had a little half moon cutout here, little tab that mine doesn't have. So that was one thing that made me kind of skeptical. The other thing is the image here on his was a little bit different. His was of the original controller. This looks like it may have still been the original controller, but it's oriented different than his was. So I'm really curious. And I'm also curious if the controller inside is going to be a real controller or not. If this is a fake, if it's got a real controller in it, or if there's a fake controller. Everything else looked really spot on to my friend's real one. So we kept going back and forth on it, and we both were like, is this real? I don't know. And we were comparing like the seal and the font. And we're like, but the font just doesn't look quite right. And I'm like, no, I agree. And I was like, but the seal looks similar, like it's like a flat matte, which is kind of what this is, like a flat matte rather than like a glossy or, you know, thing like on some of the games. The UPC codes, all that matched up. And then as I started looking really closely, I noticed it said Super NSF controller. So that's telling me now that this is probably a fake, and that NSF might have been like an autocorrect that saw NES and was like, hey, that's not a real word, and it changed it to NSF. I don't know, but I thought that was really funny, so we'll see if that's the case. Another thing to be aware of, another friend of mine who I was talking to about this actually found one listed on eBay, and it had the same error there. So I don't think it was necessarily like a manufacturing error from Nintendo, but we'll see. I think once we open it and confirm that it's not real, then we'll kind of know 100%. So anyway, I'm going to stop the video real quick and go grab my knife, and we're going to pop this open and see what we can do. And we're back. Alright, so I grab a knife, and I'm going to open this up, and we'll see what we've got here. I did this because I don't want to try to rip the box. I wanted to just slightly kind of open it. I really don't want to cut the box or anything, so I wanted to be super careful with that. Okay, I got enough. I can open it from there. Alright, so the other thing is the plastic on this. It feels like that really plasticky plastic, not like the kind of stretchy, smooth plastic. It's like it's hard to explain. It's like a more sharp feeling plastic. It's not like softer plastic that you'd see sometimes in older packaging that feels more substantial. It's really flimsy and not like thick plastic, which also makes me think it was a more modern like wrap machine or something that they did it with. Alright, so let's see what we got. Oh, there's two controllers in here. Okay. I was not aware that that's what they did with this. They shipped it with two controllers. Okay, so I can tell you, based off of that, it's just from looking at these and being really familiar with real controllers, that these are fake controllers. Yeah, these are super fake. So they do have the Nintendo NES stamped in the back of them. So kudos to them for that. The plastic is really jacked up. Oh, look at that. It's like it melted when it was being molded on something. Like something was sitting on it and it like just melted into it when the plastic was still hot. You can just see, I mean, right there, you can, oh, it was the controller. The controller melted whenever so the plastic melted, and this was against the controller, and it just kind of bled everywhere. Yeah, that's pretty rough. The screws look weird. Smells funky. It's got this weird kind of gray thing around here. The control pad is smaller, doesn't feel right. It's not like the black pad. Let me grab my original controller here too, just so we have some comparisons. Nope, not that one. Here we go. Yeah, so I mean, you can just tell right off the bat. There's like some weird. See the lighter gray and the darker gray there. So you know, the black controller versus the more gray controller. You know, it even smells. It smells really funky. You know, the gray here, it doesn't stick. The buttons don't stick out as much either. You can see they just kind of shrink wrapped this. Although I have to give them kudos, they actually put the Nintendo logo on these as well. I've read that that's another way you can tell sometimes. I mean, I can just tell you by feeling them that there's no way these are real controllers. I mean, you can see from the design, like, I mean, they've got the L&R there, and the models after this one had that imprinted like that, where it's just imprinted, but it wasn't like laser printed on it. It was just an indentation. You know, so you can see they came really close to trying to replicate what it looked like on top and all that. This one actually is one that I've shown before on here. This was one that was sent back from Nintendo that was a warranty exchange controller. So basically somebody had a problem with the controller, they mailed it into Nintendo, Nintendo sent them this one back. And this is the one that I actually got in the box. So I think what happened is the people basically bought the box, and the box controller, got the controller, it didn't work or it had problems. They sent in that controller to Nintendo. Nintendo put this in the box and shipped it back to them, and then they never used it because they probably got it, I don't know, months after the fact, because, you know, back in the day, mail stuff went pretty slow. So my guess is that it took a while to get it back. They got it back and they just left it like that. And then I bought it, this one brand new. I mean, it was still, I mean, it's still sealed. I mean, not sealed. It was still like the cord was still wrapped up. I mean, from the factory, you could tell it's still bagged and everything. And I could see that this hadn't been touched, as far as I could tell and everything. And like an idiot, I thought I would try to take off this warranty sticker, and so I peeled up the corner a little bit. And now it won't go back down, but oh well. You live and learn. That was a few years ago, so. But yeah, so, wow. This is crazy. I've never seen. I mean, they went to a lot of lengths to make it look kind of close. And I feel like if you hadn't seen or touched the controller in 10 or 15 years, you would think, wow, that's a real controller. But yeah, these are not real controllers. So there is one right now up on eBay for this. It says it's authentic, genuine, you know, Super Nintendo controller. I'm gonna go pull that up, I think, and maybe submit it to eBay and say, hey, this isn't real, because I mean they're saying it's OEM and it's authentic, and it's clearly not. And they already had, I think, some bad feedback, and yeah, this is not real, not authentic. So, yep. So anyway, there you go, guys. That was all that was in the box. Nothing else, no little instructions or anything. So, definitely a fake. I am curious now to know whether it's like an older fake or if these are a pretty new thing. I'm leaning towards they're newer because of how much work they put into like putting the logo on here. Actually, I'll just show you that real quick here too. You can tell. I mean, you can look at the cable here. I mean, you know, they put Nintendo on it there. They stamped it with Nintendo. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. Let's see. I don't know if it's clear enough. I got enough of let's see. There we go. So you can see they stamped Nintendo on it. You know, so kudos to them for putting that on there. I mean, here's the real one. You can see it's in its nice little oval there and all that. And it's more of a gray black, whereas this is more of like a jet black control, like a connector. But anyway, so there you go, guys. So adventure over. That's the discovery for today. So thanks for checking it out, and like, subscribe, and let me know if you want me to do more videos like this. Thanks.